All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into what might be one of the most intimidating openings in all of literature, Herman Melville's Moby Dick. Now, most people know the famous line, "Call me Ishmael." But before we even get there, Melville throws us into this really strange sea of information. So let's break it down.
Before we even meet a single character, Melville takes us way back to the very beginning, with the Bible. See, right away, he's establishing the whale not just as an animal, but as this creature of mythic, almost divine proportion. This tells you from the jump, this isn't just a fish story. It's a story on a biblical scale.
And then, bam, he yanks us from the sacred right down to the totally mundane. He hits us with this bit of historical trivia that grounds this mythic creature in a tangible, almost absurd reality. 2 cartloads. Just like that, this Leviathan is also a physical thing you can measure, a commodity.
And then, finally, we get a taste of the pure, violent drama of the hunt itself. So this thing isn't just a passive creature of myth or a simple slab of meat. No, it's an active, furious, and honestly, a terrifying force of nature. This is what the story is really getting at.
So you gotta ask, why start an adventure story with what feels like a research paper? Well, Melville isn't just telling a story here. He's building an entire world. He's showing us that long before our narrator, Ishmael, ever steps on a boat, the whale has obsessed, terrified, and sustained humanity for centuries. He's basically setting this huge global stage for what turns out to be a very, very personal story.
So this first section, this really strange opening called extracts, it's like a collage. You can almost picture Melville just scouring every library he could get his hands on, pulling every single mention of whales he could find, from sacred texts and science manuals to sailors' yarns and Shakespeare.
And the crucial point here is this. Before we even get to the adventure, the whale is already, well, it's everything to everyone. You know, it's a religious symbol, it's a monster, it's a science project, it's even a floating factory. It is a total global phenomenon, and Melville makes sure we feel the full weight of all that history before Chapter 1 even begins.
Okay, so after showing us the whole idea of the whale throughout history, Melville does something interesting. He zooms in even further, and he starts dissecting the actual word itself in a section he calls etymology.
And he kicks it off with a simple dictionary definition, right? It's like he's trying to pin down this massive, sprawling concept with just one neat little explanation. Kind of like trying to tame the idea, you know? Put it in a box. But as we're about to see, it's not going to be that easy.
And then this. This is what brilliantly illustrates his point. He shows us that there's no way a single language or one definition can possibly contain this creature. The whale is a truly global word. It belongs to everyone and to no one all at once. It just defies any easy category, just like the animal itself.
All right, so now that he's laid all this groundwork, this worldwide historical obsession, Melville finally zooms in and gives it a human face. After all that research, all those definitions, the abstract is about to get deeply personal. And there they are, 3 of the most famous words in all of literature. And just like that, we're in. We've got our narrator. The whole focus just shifts, It's gone from the library to this single, restless soul. And now the question isn't, what is a whale anymore? The real question is, why on earth would someone choose to hunt?
And Ishmael's reasons? They're not what you'd think. It's not about fame, it's not about fortune. He's escaping a deep, almost suicidal depression, what he calls a damp, drizzly November in my soul. For him, going to sea is literally, in his words, a substitute for pistol and ball. He really embodies that universal human pull, that itch to run towards the vast, unknown sea as some kind of cure for the crushing smallness of life on land.
But here's the thing. Ishmael's grand, philosophical quest, it immediately smacks right into the grimy, uncomfortable, and often pretty funny reality of a sailor's life. It's like the poetry of the sea meets the prose of a cheap, dingy inn.
I mean, this clash of worlds is just perfect, isn't it? You have this grand, romantic quest to see the watery part of the world, and it just smashes head-on into the bizarre, kind of terrifying, and honestly hilarious reality of being forced to share a bed with Queequeg at the Spouter Inn.
Okay, so Ishmael has his deep, philosophical reasons, and he's already faced the strange realities of life on the shore. But before he can even think about signing onto a ship, he's confronted with the true cost of this obsession, and it happens in a place called the Whaleman's Chapel. Now this chapel, it is not a place for celebration. Not at all. It's a place filled with this quiet dread. The walls aren't filled with success stories, they're lined with memorials to the lost. Ishmael calls them these bitter blanks in those black-bordered marbles, which cover no ashes, just stark, cold reminders of the men swallowed whole by the ocean.
And then you see this, towed out of sight by a whale. Suddenly, the stakes are just crystal clear. The whale isn't just some concept or a commodity to be harvested, it's an agent of death. This isn't just an adventure story, this is a deadly, deadly business.
So think about it. By the time the real voyage begins, Melville has methodically walked us through everything we need to know. The whale is this global myth, it's a philosophical puzzle, it's a path for personal escape, and it's a fatal, brutal reality. He's basically armed us with the exact same knowledge that Ishmael has, leaving us with the very same choice. The only question left is the one he leaves for us to answer.